What's up, guys? Welcome back to the 40K Cafe, and thank you, Rob, for the request. Seeing as the Emperor is too busy, being a corpse, even though he is alive, he can't really delegate and be part of things as much as he used to be. With that, for a very long period of time, those that would delegate the Imperium of Man would pass as a mantle from person to person depending on the situation. At one point, it would be the High Lords of Terra as well as the Primarchs. But as times would change and progress, as well as the Primarchs disappearing, quote-unquote leaders would come and go to lead the Imperium into a new light. A good example of this would be the rise of the Ecclesiarchy, who would gain a lot of power and influence the Imperium over time. But then this would lead to its own problems, such as the rise of Goj Vandire. That would eventually come to pass as well, and to keep a long video shorter, right now we have Roboute Guilliman as the Lord Commander of the Imperium of Man. He is the de facto leader that is delegating, managing, and pretty much running the show. But just because you're the second in command, does that mean that you are able to speak with the Emperor? Guilliman in his case can, or at least what we know is that he did. But the Emperor cannot speak in the same way that you and I can, having a casual conversation. When Guilliman spoke to the Emperor after his resurrection, it was like that of a conversation between a sane person and a pleading madman. To skip some of the finer details, the Emperor would reference to Guilliman as my final hope, my last chance, my tool, my son, or words that could be synonymous with any of these. When reading it for the first time, I really understood how incredible of a moment it is. As to many of us, we know that the Emperor is still alive and fighting the creatures of the warp, but his mind could be absolutely fractured over the passage of time and all that has happened. I would like to imagine that members of the Adeptus Custodes may also attempt to converse with the Emperor. Truthfully, I don't know if that's the case right now, but I say I'd like to think because they do still have to guard the Emperor's throne room. Granted, although they can't be in there forever, I'd still like to think that the Emperor may try to converse with his loyal subjects as he once did in the past. Granted, of course, with the way that the Emperor is, I'm not sure how this would be. Lastly, the individuals that I would like to think had a conversation with the Emperor would be the founders of the Sisters of Battle, specifically Alesia Dominica as well as her 5 personal bodyguards, that while during the Age of Apostasies, they would be given the opportunity to go into the Emperor's throne room. And although we don't know exactly what went on in there, we do know that due to the circumstances, the individuals that would later become the Sisters of Battle were being manipulated. And it took them coming face to face with the Emperor to convince them that Goj Vandire wasn't this messiah from the Emperor. Again, we don't know what went on there, but I would like to think, and it is my theory, not confirmed, that perhaps there was some sort of conversation between Alesia Dominica and the Emperor of Mankind. Because literally right after these events happened, they would emerge from the Emperor's palace and go slay Goj Vandire. At the end of the day, I can say that the Emperor in all of his glory still can't really have a casual conversation. And before I forget, a casual person would not even be able to step into the throne room without being obliterated by the Emperor's psychic might. I feel like it'd be like talking to a nuclear reactor that so happens to have the ability of speech but can't form complete sentences. But despite all this, Raw, I hope this helps answer your question, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if there's anything you guys want to hear about next, and as always, remember to follow for more.